This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Umbreon Valley. This map can be found over at gamerdesigns.net, and there will be a link down in the description below. From that page, you're going to be able to download all of Designs Logging's mods. There are a few maps that he has already got out there for FS22, including Umbreon Valley, and then a few other mods related to forestry. You can also find a link to his FS19 mods and maps also from that page. Now, before we get into the description, this video is brought to you by Doughboy2913. Thank you for being a farm baron. So the description says, welcome to Umbreon Valley. The map the world has long awaited. Quite the setup. Quite the setup. Get lost in the vast wilderness and cut as much wood as you want. Filled with all the rivers, lakes, trees, and roads you could possibly want. You might even spot a deer or two. Sell your processed trees at many of the log selling points, or even sell your chips at the sawmill in town. Once you think you have experienced all you are prepared, then wander up to the northwest corner of the map and see if you think you have what it takes to conquer the swamps and make it out alive. This map includes a little theatric, right? This map includes 58 buyable tracts of timber, 2 swampy areas, 5 log sell points, 2 woodchip sell points, 1 diesel fueling sell point, a sawmill production and carpentry production, and 20 unique collectibles to be found. Let's go ahead and load on in. Watch the map load on up while we are waiting. I will say that if you load this map up in Farm Manager or start from scratch, you will not own any land whatsoever. Now, there were a few warnings that popped up. Let's go ahead and scroll up to those and just kind of take a look and see what was related to those. The first warning basically reflects that there is a texture on the map that is not square. Farm Sim likes square textures. So this particular texture called Holidays-1-E yada 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 isn't square. That's all that means. The next two only relate to something that would really matter if this was submitted to the Giants Mod Hub. Basically says the map.i3d shapes files are too big. That can be a problem for console. This is a PC only map, so not that big of a deal there. And then foliage load 1 mesh meadow cut is larger than load O mesh. That's fancy talk for I don't have a clue what that means. But it's a warning, not an error. I don't think it's necessarily groundbreaking because guess what? This is a forestry map. This isn't a mowing grass map. So I don't think you're going to run into any sort of problems there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. We'll zoom on out, and you're going to see this is 100% forestry. This map does not pretend to be anything other than a giant piece of wilderness with just enough sell points in order to sell all the wood that you want to cut here on the map. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lands area. You'll see we start out in new farmer mode, basically owning the roads and the sell points. We can sell that for $59,000. There is a little tract of forest here behind the starting point that is $5,200 that we own at the start in new farmer mode. In farm manager mode, we do not own any of the land at the start. Let's take a look at some of these other tracts of land. We've got a big hunk of forest up here just to the north of the shop that also includes some areas down here to the south that is $80,000. Another hunk of land, $25,000, $33,000. This big chunk of swampland, $92,000. So overall, the land is very, very cheap on the map. Should be able to make a very good fortune here cutting the forest on Umbreon Valley. Now, we do have all the crop types available to us here on Farm Sim 22, but as I said, this map is not pretending to be anything other than forestry. And what we're going to find when we get down here to the prices screen is you're not going to be able to sell a single crop at all. So, like I said, we're not trying to pretend that this map has farming capability to it. This is first and foremost a forestry map. If you're not into forestry, this map is not going to be for you. We do have the default crop counter available to us here on Farm Sim 22. Again, it's not that big of a deal because we're not going to be growing crops on Umbreon Valley. If we take a look at the prices screen, like I said, you're going to find that there isn't a single crop available that we can sell here in the map as it is presented. There are no sell points for animal byproducts. We do have 2 sell points for wood chips. We also happen to have a sell point for straw at the same wood chip sell point. We have no ability to sell any of the production facilities other than planks. We can indeed sell planks at the carpentry shop. Now, regretfully, we also can't sell the furniture that the carpentry shop can produce. But we can put down a sell point that will buy furniture. So the world isn't over. We do have the ability to put something down that will accept furniture. So we then have a way of getting rid of that finished good. And there is no place to buy bulk lime and no place to sell our stones. Because again, this map is not pretending to be anything other than a forestry map. We do not start out with any equipment. So really, it might be to your benefit to start this map up on Farm Manager, get your $1 million plus in the bank, buy the land that you want to buy because land is cheap, buy the forestry equipment you want to buy because forestry expensive is not cheap, and then go to town clearing your way. There are no animals on the map. There are no contracts on the map because there are no fields on the map, and we do not own any production areas at the start. There's no use going into the default equipment because, well, there aren't any. But I do want to go over here and show you that we do have custom collectibles. We have 10 Pokeballs and 10 Umbreon Pokemon. So you're going to be looking for 10 balls and 10 of these little Pokemon doohickeys scattered around a map in order to collect your custom collectibles. There is no farm on the map, so there will not be a farm tour. So other than just telling you that one of the log sell points is right here at the shop, we're just going to go ahead and move on into our fly around. So here we have the sell wood trigger, and then you're going to be putting your logs on these log holders in order to ultimately sell the logs. Now, this map is definitely wilderness. This map is very densely forested, as you are likely able to tell at this point, and how dense the trees are. And boy, are there a whole heap load of trees. Currently, we are looking towards the west of the map. We can see all the way over to the swamp. So this area right here where the little reticle is, that is the big swamp. There is a little bit of a swamp right here, but nothing to be overly worried about. But that is the big hunk of swamp that's over there. Let's go ahead and kind of rotate around the map in a clockwise direction. Kind of a fun little detail related to this map is down here, we have a giant Pokeball. This is not one of the collectibles, but yeah, we got a giant Pokeball stuck into the side of the cliff there. Cute little fun little aspect I wanted to talk to you about. Now, I did check where all these collectibles are, and they are literally everywhere and anywhere. You're going to be scrounging through this dense forest just looking for those 10 Pokeballs and those 10 Pokemon. Let's go ahead and Gonna make our way down here to the port. The port has 2 additional log sell points, but take a look at this forest down here. Like I said, it is dense and it is pretty nice, I think. In my opinion. I might not be the expert on forestry maps, but I have to say, I think this map is kind of hitting a lot of marks when it comes to forestry. So here we have a barge. This one is set up to accept logs. We have our log sell trigger there. We obviously have the logs in the barge to give you a hint as to what you're supposed to be doing with those. Same over here. We have the trigger. We have no logs in this barge, but as you kind of get the hint with that particular barge kind of on its way out, that is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be loading these barges up with logs. Here we have our Woodchip sell point that's down here at the dock. Just give you one little hint. And then we have a maintenance trigger over here at this other building. This is one of the in-game buildings. So we do have operable doors. And we have a maintenance trigger inside of here. Get a little bit more altitude and continue on. Over to ultimately the next log sell point. The terrain isn't super steep and super rough as best as I can tell. I mean, clearly, looking at the trees, we've got varied terrain for sure. But I would say that if you wanted to, you probably could do some farming here. Just be aware you'd have to place down sell points for various things. Lots of really cool details like this river with some stones in here. We've got trees falling across the river. Got some rough water going on. And that is leading us right here to our next log sell point in the sawmill here. Really cool building. I'm not really sure where this came from. I assume it is an import from FS19. So we come into the sawmill from the road, go over our scale. Then we're going to take our truck and back it down into the water. So the actual log trigger is down here in the water. You don't want to get hit by the logs floating down the river. And then you have your sell wood trigger right there. Yeah, the sawmill is pretty cool. Lots of interesting details here inside. The bandsaw. The log sled. Now we will go ahead and kind of follow the river and therefore follow the logs floating down the river up to our next log sell point, which is here at this big opening. See, that is where the logs floating down the river are spawning. And once again, we would back our log trailer down into the water. And then we would come to the sell wood activation icon that is right here at this building to then sell your timber from there. And then the logging town is going to be just up this way. We have our fuel station on the map, located right below. We have the very, very wise idea of a fire department over here. The carpentry shop is located right here, and this is a Buyable production facility. This will accept logs, planks, and then convert them into furniture if you buy this. Now, if you do buy it, as we said, there isn't a place to sell furniture default, but you can sell furniture, I believe, at a minimum at the grocery, maybe even at the farmer's market. We're about to find out. So no furniture at the farmer's market, but you can, ironically, sell furniture here at the grocery store. Right there is the icon for furniture. So you could put down on some land that you owned the grocery store, and then at that point you would be able to sell your furniture. Now inside kind of the town here, we have another maintenance shop right here. We do have operable doors. So there you go. I like the roll up door there. That is pretty cool. And then back at the end of the road here, we have our sawmill. Again, to sell our logs, or if we buy the sawmill, they will then make planks. And then we have 2 places to sell your wood chips. Sell your wood chips here, and then sell your wood chips. I guess that's where the sawmill produces wood chips. Does the sawmill produce wood chips? I haven't done enough forestry to really honestly remember that. Now, that is pretty much all the sell points. We're not going to do a drive around because, well, we kind of hit all the high points. There is a little clearing here. So this is really the only spot on the map that has any sort of clearing associated with it. So if you did want to do a little bit of farming, you could probably start by clearing this off of grass and putting down your buildings. But again, you're going to have to place everything with respect to sell points for the grains, which is going to be production areas, and then sell points for those production outputs. Here we have a really, really awesome, one of the really cool features of the map. That is this large swamp up here. And I wanted to get down here at ground level just so you can really kind of witness the details that have gone into the creation of this swamp. We'll just kind of maybe fly through the swamp a little bit as we kind of wrap up this video. So related to how does this map score? Okay. The map is not going to score super high because of the fact that this is a forestry map. On the grounds of, can you sell all of the default crops, animal outputs, and production on the map? Well, the answer is no. You can sell wood chips, you can sell planks, and that's pretty much it. You can sell straw, but you can't sell the grain that's associated with the straw. So I'm going to give the map a 1/4 point for that aspect. But again, it doesn't mean this is a bad map. It means that this map is not for farming. This is not a farming map. This is a logging simulator 2022 map, not a farming simulator 2022 map. As far as, does this map include production? Yes, it includes plank and furniture production. So again, I'm going to give this a 0.25 score. It includes production for the things that are forestry related, and that is it. There is an area cleared off, so you could talk about that being available for the placement of other such items. But really, I'm going to give it a 0.25 on that. Are the farms customizable? Well, yes, sure. They are totally customizable because there aren't any. Same with respect to No Man's Land. The same has been said for other forestry maps. This map gets a full point because, well, there aren't any pre-placed buildings to deduct points for. So therefore, it's going to get a full point on that. Are the buildings and ground using the new texture technique? Yes, they are. A lot of the buildings, if not all the buildings, other than maybe that one sawmill, are buildings that are imported from base game FS22. So the map gets a full score for that particular category. And then the final category relating to, are all of the player triggers clearly marked? Yes, they are. The player triggers that exist are all clearly marked and are all accurate. Therefore, this map gets a full point on that regard. So overall, I give this map a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It got a few little dings because it doesn't allow you to basically sell any of the base game crops or animal areas. There's only production related to the forestry aspect, but I think it's pretty clear to tell that this is a forestry focused map, and a forestry focused map is all it is. And therefore, if we were grading on a curve, I think it would score a bit higher, but we don't grade on curves here on the channel, so we're going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. Let me know down in the description what you all think of this map. Again, this is Umbreon Valley. It can be found over at gamerdesigns.net, and you're going to be able to find his other FS22 and FS19 content over there on his website. And until next time, happy farming.